My greetings to our dynamic First Lady President of the BSMSCAT, to all my classmates, good morning. We are still the learning team 2, the charismatic group, and we are responsible for your learnings today. Last meeting, my group mates discussed about the core values of a leader, the 8 most effective leadership styles, and factors that determine leadership styles. Today, we are going to discuss 3 researches that presents results and findings of the best leadership style. The first research study is entitled Impact of Leadership Style on Organizational Performance, conducted by Ibrahim Hassan Al-Khadje of Lincoln University College of United Arab Emirates. For us to dig deeper and understand deeply the research study, let us analyze it by identifying the research context, the research gap, the research methods and theories, research findings and conclusions, and then the last part is my reflection about the research study presented. Okay, the research context. The context of this study is to examine the impact of leadership style on the organizational performance. The focus was on 6 major leadership styles such as transactional, transactional, autocratic, charismatic, bureaucratic, and democratic leadership style. When we say organizational performance here, this refers to the result of the organization or the actual output of the organization, which can be measured against intended outputs, goals, and objectives. The study was conducted on the employees of 20 randomly selected organizations. All the required permissions were taken from the bank authorities for conducting the survey. In this study, both primary and secondary research has been conducted. The primary research has been done using the quantitative approach with the help of survey instrument, while the secondary research has been done through the review of previously established literature for achieving the research objectives. And now let's proceed to the research gap. The gap of the research that would like to address was to determine the impact of autocratic leadership style, democratic leadership style, transactional leadership style, transformational leadership style, charismatic leadership style, and bureaucratic leadership style on the organizational performance. In order to determine the impact of the leadership style on organizational performance, the research hypothesis was formulated. And the hypothesis stated that leadership style dimensions have a significant impact on the organizational performance. And now let's come to the research methods and theories. In order to answer the research question, quantitative approach has been utilized in this study to determine relationship between dependent variable organizational performance and the independent variable, which is the leadership styles. Leadership scale for this research work was adapted from Zoo of 2002. Organizational performance was measured using respondents' perception of their organization's performance in comparison to their competitors. The questionnaires were distributed and the respondents filled them out. The responses of the respondents were measured using a 5-point Likert scale where frequency performance was distributed into 5 levels. So 5 is the highest level. That includes never, little, occasionally, often, and always. The reliability of the data was measured using Cronbach alpha reliability coefficient. The impact of the leadership styles on their performances was measured using the organizational performance scale. The scale compares the performance of the bank with their competitors. The reliability and credibility of the scale was checked using item analysis, and it yielded a reliability alpha value of 0.76, which is considered to be fairly reliable. And now let's come to the research findings, which is the most important part of this research study and presentation. So, there were major findings that have been obtained from the secondary research. As I mentioned earlier, this research study conducted two types of research. The primary, which is uh, drawn from using quantitative survey, and then the secondary research is from the established review literature. Okay, so let us now find out the research findings based from the secondary research conducted. Okay, so the results showed that there is both a positive and a negative relationship between the selected dimensions of leadership and organizational performance. That transactional leadership, charismatic leadership, and bureaucratic leadership were found to have a negative relationship with the organizational performance. This shows that these leadership styles do not induce the employees to perform better and stimulate high turnover intention. So, sort of review lang tayo about this type of leadership. Pag sinabi nating transactional leadership, according to Yun Chen Wang Be of 2013, this type of leader, a transactional leader, is always willing to give something in return. Only that, the big problem here is the expectation. Ano, you are working because you are expecting something in return. Like for instance, promotion, salary increase, and new responsibility. Kasi sabi nga, high expectation, high frustration. So, pag nag-expect ka ng mataas, and then mataas din yung magiging frustration if that expectation is not being met. Okay. And how about charismatic leadership? Sabi natin, this is the most successful leadership style. Because the leader has a vision. So what is the limitation of charismatic leader? So according to Hermano of 2010, um, the major drawback of a charismatic is that the followers are totally dependent to the leaders. And once they live in the organization, they become directionless. Ano? So, a charismatic leader does not train their subordinates to act as the replacement in the future. So, yung charismatic leader, hindi siya nagtitrain ng mga susunod na future leaders. Sabi nga ni Hermano, happy followers but few future leaders. So that is the drawback of a charismatic leadership. And bureaucratic leadership. So according to Hermano again, a bureaucratic leader influence people under them to follow the policies and procedures designed to them. A, bu- a, bru- a bureaucratic leader, is strongly committed to their processes and procedures, but not to their people. And they tend to be aloof. Ano? Aloof, parang unreachable. Hindi siya accommodating. Only focus on the task being completed at nakakaligtaan niya ang kanyang mga tao. So yun naman ang limitation ng bureaucratic leadership. So these three leadership styles shows a negative relationship with the organizational performance and does not induce the employees to perform better and stimulate high turnover intention. Okay? Another findings based from the secondary research, the findings is that the leadership styles such as charismatic and bureaucratic leadership are good styles of leadership for short-term or small projects. But as far as long-term and future prospects are considered, they are not beneficial as they do not lead to employees' development and this does not bring out excuse the expected performances from the employees. Another findings is that the democratic leadership, transformational leadership, and autocratic leadership style have a positive relationship with the organizational performance. These three styles of leadership induce the employees to perform better and as per the level of expectations. These leadership styles must not be promoted in the organization. These leadership styles, must be promoted in the organization. Let's come now to the primary research conducted. The hypothesis testing, and this is our hypothesis. Leadership style dimensions have a significant effect on the organizational performance. Let us find out if the result or the findings is the same with the secondary research conducted. Okay, these are now the findings for primary research using quantitative approach through survey. First finding is that the charismatic leadership, transactional leadership, and bureaucratic leadership have a negative effect on organizational performance. Second, the transformational leadership style, democratic leadership style were independent predictors of organizational performance. There are three leadership styles which were found to have a positive relationship with organizational performance, demo- democratic leadership, transformational leadership, and autocratic leadership. The results prove that the leadership styles contribute effectively in determining the organizational performance. Therefore, the hypothesis was tested to be true. Okay. So, ano ang na-find out nyo? Is the result or the findings from secondary research and primary research is the same? Pareho ba yung naging resulta? Yes, it is. The findings of this study were in line with previous research studies by Wang et al. Of 2010 and Obiworu et al. Of 2011 as per the literature review. States that transformational leadership helps in establishing a value system along with providing the employees an opportunity to develop their skills and abilities. Democratic leadership helps in improving the creativity and decision-making skills of employees. And autocratic leadership, employees have to work or follow the orders given by the leader, and this work is favor of the organization. So maganda din naman pala itong autocratic leadership na sabi natin is usually classic and bossy. Ano? Ayan, may magandang impact, positive impact pala siya when it comes to uh, performance, organizational performance. The charismatic leadership and bureaucratic leadership styles, on the other hand, were found to have a negative relationship with the organizational performance. Sabi nga natin, which is similar to the results indicated by the literature review. However, the literature review suggests that the transactional leadership also has a positive impact on organizational performance, which contradicts the result of the survey. So yung transactional leadership magka-contradict ang result ng secondary and primary research. This space can be further researched in the future by gathering more evidence. This study revealed that organizational performance is associated with the leadership style, and they have both a positive and a negative impact on the performance. It is important for a leadership style to offer opportunities to employees, offer a sense of belonging, along with allowing them to participate in the decision making. In this context, it is recommended that organizations should focus on using the transformational and democratic leadership styles in the organizations so as to improve the organizational performance. However, it has some limitations such as that only quantitative data has been used. This has significantly reduced the scope and applicability of the research. Therefore, the future researches should focus on using relevant research method along with qualitative methods for determining the relationship between leadership style and organizational performance. Okay. I hope na meron kayong natutunan based from the research study presented. Okay, for the reflection, this is now my reflection. Being a leader, being the boss, can feel like the hardest job of all. Kala natin madali lang maging leader. Ano kaya na pag ikaw yung leader? No matter how large your team, no matter how collaborative and engaged your employees, ultimately, it's up to you. Which means you need to find inspiration and motivation inside yourself. There is no perfect single leadership style. Same with there is no perfect leader. But As long as the leader holds on to the mission and vision of the organization, make unselfish decisions, and touches the lives of people around her or him, then that leader becomes perfect on the eyes of his or her people. And I would like to end my presentation by this quote by Jim Rohn that says, "The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not bully, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor but without folly." That's all. Thank you everyone for listening. And still, I am Ma'am Jvpardeno saying goodbye to everyone and stay safe.